interesting perspective. In college, I was a basketball manager for quite some time, and I traveled with the basketball team. And I know that when they lost, sometimes practice started at 5 a.m. and got to be in your 8 a.m. class. But particularly, the reason why I think they should be paid is not just because of the time that you put in, which a lot of times is more than 40 hours a week, but because of the amount of money that the universities make as a result of their sports programs. Also in college, I happened to work as a student advisor to our budget committee, and I would see the amount of money that our teams would get to play these big schools. We go and take a loss and we get a big nice check, from some of these larger schools. And in my head, because some of the basketball players were my fraternity brothers, I knew we were scraping money together at the end of, practices to get a $4 meal. And I knew that like a lot of these guys' grades were hurting because of the amount of time. And so for me, and I more so knew the big paycheck the school was getting as a result of what the sports team was able to do. And so I think that it's only fair for a number of reasons that some type of compensation be given. I'm not sure exactly how much it should be, but I do think that free, when you're giving that much to the universities, is unacceptable.
Do you think college athletes should be paid?
Pardon me, sir. What was the question?
Do you think college athletes should be paid?
I do believe that college athletes should be compensated in a way that is still within regulations for the NCAA amateur status that is required. But there's absolutely no reason that college students who are student athletes and generating millions of dollars for the university are having to scrounge around for basic food and living expenses. I believe the statistic in the 1990s was that student athletes at the end of the month had about $25 for personal expenses. It's just absurd. So my thoughts are that it is inequitable that student athletes who generate millions of dollars for the university are scrounging for basic expenses and struggling through their classes because they aren't receiving the support that was promised to them from the university. They're not receiving the education that they were promised as well. And it is hypocritical for the NCAA to restrict payments of student athletes when its member universities are exploiting new ways of generating revenue via television and branding. So I think it's at a point where student athletes need a different form of compensation that is more reflective of the money that is being generated from the services that they are providing for the university. Or it is time to again rethink the NCAA's 501c3 tax exemption status as a nonprofit so that those taxes can go back into the funding for public education.
Do I think college athletes should be paid to play in college? It's a really difficult question, only because as a college athlete who didn't get paid to play basketball, I was really happy to play regardless, and I feel like athletes are going to play regardless of whether or not they're paid for it or not. But I do think that a lot of companies are making so much money off the college basketball industry at this point that it actually, I find it it's like the athlete's property what the athlete does with the athletic body. And so it is, when Nike and Adidas make so much money on these groups, it does make it really kind of seem weird that, but I don't think that they should be paid to play because of the love of the game. If you love the game, you don't care if you're paid or not. You're going to play. And that's really the bottom line. So I think it'd be interesting, but to deal with the huge corporate companies that really basically use the college players in the way they do. So that is not okay, and it's not fair practices, and so that needs to change. But athletes gonna play.
Should be paid.
I do think college athletes should be paid. I think that because everyone else in the entertainment of the college sport is making money. The TV provider is making money, the coaches are making money, the refs are making money. The people that are actually providing the entertainment, the athletes are not. Also, the athletes are they are getting an education out of it, but a lot of times they feel rushed to go to pro in a sport because they need to provide for their family or provide for themselves. If we were to pay college athletes, they'd be more motivated to get an education, which would further their life throughout, even after their sport.